everybody. Good evening, aliens.
Finally got him out of the bunker and over to my bunker. He figured out my bunker was way harder to find than most other bunkers. Oh God, we're having technical issues. Actually, my operator, because I gotta see my timestamp when I go to edit this one. But I'm a rigger right now. Yeah, that one can be
doing it.
Yeah, I'm rigging elections left and right.
So you are a Democrat.
Or is the one Millwright says I'm his token rigger. Well, my operator, he actually did so he couldn't breathe out of his one nostril, much like mine's fucked up. I know that. Yours probably fucked up.
I don't know why you would just assume that.
I don't know. I don't know you're nothing. Anyway, so he did this thing where they put a balloon in your freaking sinus cavity and then they blow it up and fucking retract it and they go all the way through your fucking sinus cavity with it.
So straightens it right out, huh?
Dude, yeah. Apparently. They didn't want to do was it septum surgery or whatever it was? Because yes, it's invasive, but just basically put the fucking straight pipe down the old canal there. I'd do that if I could breathe. Ooh. But I don't like doctors, so
doctors suck. Don't trust them. Don't trust the buildings that they reside in either.
So our healthcare is better than socialized healthcare, no matter what. Anyway, anybody wants to look at it, sure, we have to pay for it. But the one thing that you guys don't get in the UK is, doctors try to sell you shit all the time. Try to sell you the newest vaccine of all types, all ages, and that's so annoying. Like the fuck was going around with kids like last year. It was like a respiratory thing. RSV? Yeah.
That's always a bad one, though.
Yeah, because it
comes around.
RSV is a bad one, but they were trying to
it's bad for kids.
Yeah. They were trying to push a vaccine on it. And because at that time,
they say they're going to make vaccines for everything, they say. They're talking about they're going to cure cancer within the next year, right, or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay. It's just like fixing the pension to Iron Workers Local 25. 5-year program, guys. Fucking 12 years later, it still ain't fixed.
No.
Vote blue.
Man, it's funny. Okay, so we're going to stay on that for a minute. So somebody posted something talking about J.D. Vance and all that, and
how he's a weirdo.
Well, no, he was saying how he was agreeing with a lot of his his stance on things, and he said something like, if we could only get some of these Democrats to kind of lean more that way, and I said, well, they're not gonna, because they're socialist, borderline communist, and we got in a big old spread between me and this other friend of his, which was they're operators, local 324, so they're union, and he got all up in me talking about how, well, I must just support the rich and they don't care about that. And I was like, dude, I said, I know you're living in the same country that I'm living in, and I said, I was darn sure doing a lot better 4 years ago than I am now.
Yeah. And the big divider was always, and they're trying to pull it right now, was, Republicans do tax breaks to corporations and they just make the rich richer.
They all do.
They all do, correct. Because that's why Hillary Clinton didn't say shit when Trump said that. Of course I don't pay taxes. Neither do all your donors.
What do you think all this green project is? It's just filling the pockets of all them manufacturers. The batteries, China.
Oh yeah. Where do we get the batteries from? Not here.
Yeah, all that green agenda. That's not putting money into the U.S. The U.S. started manufacturing, like the American car manufacturers, they started making electric cars because they thought there was going to be a demand for it.
Right.
Now they're starting to discontinue them. Ford shut down a bunch of it because they're getting stuck with them because nobody's buying them.
Yeah. And Ford's whole marketing thing was they wanted to make it affordable, of course, because like Teslas are more expensive because they use lithium ion. When Ford switched to lithium iron, which kind of is the same thing, but the battery's not as good because the person that was in charge of the deal is from China. So they did this deal with them, and that's why the Lightning only got a towing range of like 70 miles. Like, it's ridiculous. And Yeah, like you said, there's no demand for them. That's the problem with what's happening over at Lake Orion Assembly. They switched it to they want to do that's where the new EV Silverado is supposed to be built. And when I was there at the first of the year, they didn't know what the fuck they were going to do. They had the new floor, the new building all laid out. They had the conveyor for that. Then we gutted out their weld building, and they were hesitant on doing trestle reinforcement because they didn't know which way this was going to go. And when they did the pre-orders, they were like, "Well, 10 people ordered it, so."
Well, it's like they shut down like a 4 or 5 mile stretch of I-94, by my house, and they had this big project where they made this smart lane.
Okay.
And they took the fast lane, they shut it down, they tore it all up and put a bunch of sensors and all this other stuff. And it was an experimental thing, and they're like, "Oh, it's for all these smart cars and this and that." And you drive down the road, and look at 100 cars. Try and look at 100 cars. How many electric cars do you see per 100 cars? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe maybe 5.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
And I'm not talking about like while you're driving. Look at oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Safely. Maybe if you're a passenger.
Safely. Don't don't let your eyes do the steering.
Yeah, but realistically, a handful per every 100.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to tell me you're going to destroy a whole lane of highway. You're going to screw up the commute for 2 years because you want to put this technology into the road for 5 miles. And where was the demand for that? Whose pocket got greased for that?
Oh, that's the Green Project.
It was a private deal.
Yeah, that's the Green Project. They got government funding to do that.
I didn't know you could actually be like, some private company could say, "I would love to put this in your highway,"
Yeah.
and we're okay with that. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot like at the Ford Hub. Their big tax write-off is the fact that they got green roofs. So they got artificial grass on the roof because that's making a difference compared to the tens of thousands of gallons of diesel and gas and fuel that it took to build that thing.
Oh God!
Not including materials, how the materials got built, refining the materials, transporting everything.
Oh, you want to talk about the Ford Hub?
Yeah.
We put up a lot of panels. I was working for a company out there putting up the wall panels inside of all the, we call them atriums or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, the courtyard, the atriums and shit.
They bought all that stuff from Germany. So you got an American company, gave millions of dollars to a foreign company overseas. None of the money is staying here.
No.
So what is it? You're telling me there wasn't a company that made fancy panels here in the U.S.
Homegrown and made?
Kept the money here. That doesn't say a lot. You want to talk about UAW this and that, and we should buy their cars, keep their money here. Why aren't they keeping the money here?
Right. I'm at Flint Truck and Bus right now, and the machinery that we're in the engine shop with, let's see, you got 2 sections. You got Grobe, which is a German company, and then you got, I forget what the other one is, but it's a Japanese company. And so the crank line is all Japanese. The block line is all German. It's all German. Everything. And you got a whole group of German fucking ambassadors, whatever the hell you want to call them, that sit there and tell you how to put this stuff together that don't speak a lick of English. Is it? Probably won't ever get a comment on this. Tell me in the comments. Is it just normal for Germans not to wear deodorant?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the weirdest thing.
I've been seeing a lot of that. I've been smelling a lot of that lately, which is kind of odd.
Maybe they're all doing the like really stupid natural ones that like, okay, there's some that work, but it costs like $20 a stick.
Yeah.
4 years ago, it would have been $10 a stick, but still.
It's kind of funny. So I had gotten some trouble a few years back, so they had me on a monitor where I wasn't allowed to drink. I don't drink anymore, but at the time I really wished I could have, but I couldn't. I couldn't use normal shampoos. I couldn't use normal like body washes, all that kind of stuff. So, and I was resorting to a lot of those natural things, and they are not good. They're not good. Sometimes you need some chemicals, I guess, to really keep your hair clean or keep your scalp from flaking and all that shit.
I mean, I had this debate with Chris a while back. My friend Chris that comes on the podcast. He was always spewing about chemicals. Chemicals are bad for you. Chemicals are this. I'm like, so everything natural and synthetically made. You can find all the building blocks to them on this cool thing called the periodic table of elements. And you just so happen to put a couple of them together. When you put a few of them together, you create something that's called a chemical reaction. Whether it's natural or not, it's still just a reaction. So the word chemical in itself, it's like a lot like using why we don't build nuclear power plants because we're afraid of Chernobyl.
Does he only drink like well water and stuff like that, or?
I would say.
How does he treat that at all? Is it spring fed? Like,
it just depends. If you like, this is well water.
I'll drink fucking pool water. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
If I'm thirsty.
Right. A little splash.
Pour that chlorine in that piss tank right there, would you?
As long as it's not the fluoride that's in the water, turning the frogs gay.
Oh, God, I don't know. I've been doing all right. I mean, I drink unknown bottles of water from job sites on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And what tap is that coming out of?
Oh yeah, the fucking Midland Tool.
What do we got?
That was probably. I bet you California.
Oh, some fancy California water.
I don't know. I wasn't looking.
Kroger.
It's Kroger. It might be bottled in Michigan.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, that's not too far away. At
So
least
we
that's a
get
Great
some
Lake.
of that Ohio tap water, because that's all they do with this shit.
Mm-hmm. It's like Bill Gates when he proposed recycling the sewage systems in California, filtering it out.
Not good.
Filtering the water of the sewage systems to make clean drinking water. So you got a hobo pissing down the river, and it just goes through that
water.
And
gray
it's
water.
And then him doing it just reminded me of like an Obama when he came to Flint after the freaking pipes.
I'll drink that water.
I'll drink. I'm thirsty. Give me a glass of that water right now. This is how I talk when I'm in Flint. You hear?
You put him in a cowboy hat.
It's okay. Look at this water. It looks perfectly fine to me. And he's pan over next to it. The water coming out of the fire hydrant's just fucking brown.
You see somebody switching the water out from under the podium.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is definitely Flint water for the president of the United States. We didn't just get that out of the freaking Secret Service car.
Yeah.
Like something that has to be monitored because people might poison them, like the poisonous water that's poisoning an entire. That's still going on.
Oh.